Hi everyone, this is Navika Chhauda, a cloud engineer, Microsoft most valuable professional, and a LinkedIn top voice in cloud computing. I warmly welcome each one of you to the 14th episode of Tech Chat with Navika, wherein today we would be discussing a very important topic. That is, what is platform engineering and that how does it differs from DevOps? And to help us understand that a bit more better, we have a very prominent speaker with us today, Mr. Romano Roth. Romano is a chief of DevOps, and he is an extremely experienced professional, having 20 plus years of experience in the IT industry. His area of expertise lies in platform engineering, DevOps, pipelines, software architecture, agile, and the list goes on and on. He's extremely passionate about sharing his knowledge with the tech community. And in fact, he has also been recognized as the global LinkedIn top voice. And congratulations for that, Romano. And thank you so much for gracing my podcast today.
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
Awesome. So, shall we get started? Because I cannot wait to dive into this topic today.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Great. So, of lately and nowadays, I'm actually seeing that so many businesses, actually all the businesses, they're thriving to provide the most efficient solution to their customers, right? And I feel in order to execute that, it is important to have certain amount of well-structured architecture in place, which provides a platform to the software developers wherein they can expedite the delivery of their applications with utmost efficiency. And as we talk about that, that is where platform engineering, in a way, comes into the picture. And that is exactly what we would be discussing in today's episode. So, to start with, Romano, can you just give an explanation as to what is platform engineering all about?
Absolutely. When you look at platform engineering, then you also need to talk about the platform engineering team. And what the platform engineering team is doing, they provide a platform to the other teams which are creating products. So they are creating a product for the other teams. And the topic of that product is to accelerate these teams. So that product should have everything in there which the teams need to develop their products. So it is sort of an enablement that they are doing to the product teams. So when we look at now at platform engineering, then this is the enablement of other teams so that they can deliver value faster to the clients. And when we look at that, then the platform engineering team, together with the platform that they are providing as a product or as a service to the teams, they are generating value for the product teams. And the product teams themselves, which use that platform, they are generating value for the client. And this is the whole topic of platform engineering. And the reason why many companies are going into this direction is because the cognitive load was rising on the teams, on the product teams. They needed to do quite a lot of things with all of the technology, all of what they needed to understand. And the cognitive load was too high. And also, there was a lot of redundancies in there. There was a lot of complexity in there. And this is something that gets reduced with platform engineering or with a platform.
Right. Thank you for the explanation. And I actually agree. It's like platform engineering in place. It sort of helps both the categories. One is the internal team, that is the software developers, which sort of, it increases their efficiency of work in a way with the help of the automated stuff that is put in. And then it also helps the clients or, the users in a way, or the organizations, wherein they're getting a consistent and, much more efficient work. So it's like a win-win situation on both the sides, as you just,
Absolutely.
even mentioned in the answer. And this actually covers one more, also covers one more question itself, that is why one should actually go in for platform engineering, right? Um, in continuation to this question, what do you think should be the capabilities or the specific things in a way that an engineering platform should cater to? Right? I
Mm.
completely understand that this is something very subjective and it depends from, the needs and requirements from company to company. But still, if you would like to throw some light on this.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to say it depends, because that's
Absolutely.
the answer to everything. No,
I
when we look
swear, yeah.
when we look at that, then you need to look at the teams, and as I pictured that, you have these teams that are working on products, and you need to understand, because they are now the customer of the platform engineering team. And so the platform engineering team needs to understand what do they need to have in order to create their products. So generically speaking, you can clearly see that when you want to have such a platform, you need to have something like application runtime. So where your application can run. That can be, of course, on premise, but it can also be sort of in the cloud. It can be sort of a Docker environment or virtual machines. It can, of course, also be a Kubernetes cluster. But
Mm,
you want to provide such an application runtime for them. Then what you also want to do is you want to do a lot with automation in there. So you want to automate quite a lot of things so that the development team does not need to do that. For example, exchanging the certification or changing passwords and such
mm,
things. You want to automate that. Even
mm,
when it comes to vulnerability management, so the whole DevSecOps part, like container
mm,
scanning, like
mm,
the SAST or Dust. You want to incorporate sort of automation so that they don't need to do that anymore. Also, when it comes to observability, like having default dashboards
mm,
or having sort of tracing already in place so that the teams don't need to always do that, is quite a nice thing. And of course, having provided or provide them with a pipeline which is
mm,
already there, where they can build their products, where they perhaps have also some defaults which they can already use. That's
mm,
absolutely what we see in
mm.
platform engineering, and or what also many of the platforms are covering nowadays.
Correct, correct. And I think like engineering platforms are mostly about the reusable tasks, right? Something that we do it on a regular interval. So in order to just put that in place so that we don't have to start everything right from scratch manually, that's what it actually caters to. It's like a solution to that, right? If
Yeah,
I'm not wrong.
absolutely. It is a standardization what you are doing. You're
Hmm. Hmm.
standardizing sort of the product development
Hmm.
in a company. You're giving them sort of the golden path
Hmm.
in a company so that they don't need to reinvent the wheel. Of course, you always need to pay close attention that you don't restrain them. You need to give them the freedom that they can also break out and do their own stuff if they need to do that.
Hmm.
But for, let's say, for 80%, it must be the right solution to have that platform and to use that platform.
Correct. That is right. As we're talking about platform engineering, it is always very closely related with DevOps, right? As we're also talking about automation, as soon as we talk about automation, it is CI/CD that comes into our mind, right? And people really relate DevOps and platform engineering closely to each other. And there is always also a lot of there's also a lot of buzz that soon in near future maybe platform engineering can sort of replace DevOps. But I would love to hear your insights on that. And
Yeah.
as an additional question to that, um, if it is not replacing DevOps, then what is the difference between platform engineering and DevOps? Um, And are there any areas wherein they overlap each other?
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. But as you said, there is a lot of buzz out there. But you also need to see there is a lot of let's say people out there which just create blog posts or memes to get some clicks. So it's clickbait. In the end, when you look at the whole DevOps movement, then
Mhm.
the DevOps movement started by combining development and operation. And then it soon went into the direction of continuously delivering value. And when you want to continuously deliver value, you need to incorporate all of the people. Then the
Mm.
whole from projects to product started. And we are nowadays more and more creating products and incorporating all of the people that are working on a product across the value stream. And this
Mm.
is sort of what we are doing when we are doing DevOps. But this comes, of course, with a price because you need to remove now some of the silos, which
Mm.
means you cannot have anymore these centralized positions where you have the database administrator or the
Mhm.
network person out there. You need to have all of the people in your value stream. And now what happened is, as I said, the cognitive load was rising, and many
Mhm.
people were saying, hey, we cannot develop any more features because we need to care about other things. And
Correct.
that was the starting point of platform engineering, when platform engineering sort of was born because of that
Mm.
cognitive load. So
Mm.
when you look at from that perspective, then a platform engineering team or a platform um, enables the teams to do DevOps. And building the platform, you will also use DevOps. So the platform engineering team uses DevOps, and also the product teams are
Mm.
using DevOps. So therefore, DevOps is not dead, it is still there.
Very
It's just a fix to the cognitive load that
Mhm.
was coming up for the product teams.
Got it. Got it. And is there any area where they sort of overlap each other, DevOps and platform engineering, like certain areas, do you think?
I mean, um, I would move it in that way, that platform engineer, of course, they sort of have an overlap, but I would say it in that way. Platform engineering enables other people or which are working on products to do DevOps. So it's more of an enabler to do exactly that DevOps.
Right.
In my opinion, platform engineering incorporates all of the DevOps practices and values that we have.
All right. So in a nutshell, we can say that DevOps and platform engineering sort of complement each other,
Absolutely.
wherein platform engineering is like a good, strong foundation, which sort of makes DevOps more efficient, if that's the right way to portray.
Absolutely. You put it absolutely correctly. But what you also need to see is, for example, if you have one team and
Hmm.
there is no other teams beside you, so you are a
Yeah.
startup, then you don't
Yeah.
need to do platform engineering. You just do DevOps. The whole
Yeah.
platform engineering case comes into play when you have multiple teams and when you have redundancies in these teams, and when you want to get faster and when you want to bring down sort of the costs, then platform engineering is the right choice.
All right. Again, as you said, it depends on the needs and requirements and the different, the circumstances what the companies are aiming at altogether. I remember in the beginning, somewhere in the beginning questions you mentioned about Dockers, Kubernetes, containers, etc., etc. And if we are talking about platform engineering, and we have already spoken about what it is all about, we have covered the why part, and as to why should companies embrace that. The next question that I think would be apt to ask would be, what are the platform engineering tools that you would recommend the companies to
Mm.
adopt in order to make their working more efficient?
But you can see at the moment there are many tools are coming right now on the market. For example, Microsoft has just released, I think the name is Radiator, um, or Radiant. Also, when you look at, for example, OpenShift, this can also be looked at as a platform engineering tool. Also, Backstage is a very good example, and there are many out there right now building up these platforms. I'm pretty sure we will soon see a Gartner quadrant about platform engineering tools, which will sort of come up. But what you also need to recognize, and that's that's a thing that is very important, as a company, or as a platform engineering team, you need to look at what are the needs for our company, for our product teams. And therefore, you need to carefully look at what you really actually need. Is it sort of a standard platform, or is it a custom built platform that you are going to develop based on other platforms? And here comes a very interesting thing. Usually, what I see nowadays is that many companies are building platforms on top of platforms. So
Okay.
you have multiple platforms, so stacking on top of each other to create this platform. And there it is very important to identify what kind of capabilities do we need, what kind of capabilities can we borrow from an existing platform and reuse that, integrate that into sort of our platform and provide that to the teams.
All right, got it. So what I understood, like on one hand, we do have certain standard platforms, engineering tools, and on the other hand, we can develop one as well.
Absolutely. These are the two possibilities, or having no platform.
Definitely, that is there. But if we go in for building our own platforms, if there is a very
Mhm.
customizable if we see from there are two very impromptu questions regarding it. The first one is there anything security a factor, does it plays a role if we compare our the platform that we have built and the platform that we are using? That is the first question. So, like, is that the case, like, in our standard one or in the customizable one, the one that we have built secure, it's that is more secure than the other one?
That's a good question. Uh, I always think when you are building such a platform, you need to do all of the security measures. It is a product that you are building internally. So you will need to do all of the pen tests. You will also do all of the security tests, license scanning, SaaS, dust.
Correct.
Everything needs to be done with that. I think when you are building that for your own, you can absolutely make an absolutely secure platform by building it in a standardized way. This is it is. I think it's not a question of security. It's more a question of costs.
Cost.
I think
The next
when
question, actually, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because building up such a platform will bind, of course,
Hmm.
money. So you
Hmm.
need
Hmm.
to have money,
Hmm.
but it will also bind some people. So you need to
Right.
invest into these people, and these people will focus on building such a platform. And you can imagine, you at least you need to have a team of
Hmm.
let's say 5 to 7 people, which are highly skilled, because when you look at the whole platform engineering, this is
Hmm.
a very tough topic, because as I said, you're going into the direction of application runtime. So usually you would build up such a platform on Kubernetes. So they
Correct.
need to be highly skilled in
Hmm.
Kubernetes. They need
Hmm.
to be highly skilled when it comes to pipelines. they need to be highly skilled when it comes to security. They need to be highly skilled when it comes to networks. They need to
Yeah.
be highly skilled when it comes to sort of backups, all of the IT operation parts. What we can clearly see is that you really need highly skilled people with 10 plus years of experience in developing software. And this is
Mm-hmm.
quite an important point, and this will make it expensive to create
Okay.
your own platform. But it can be absolutely a business case because you
Mm.
can customize it. Because when
Correct.
you take something off the shelf, it will be
Mm-hmm.
sort of a default. Of course, you will have license, perhaps by use, and this can also be quite expensive. So there can be a business case of creating a platform. I usually say when you are a company with, let's say, 1,000 developers and you have a special development, then it absolutely can make sense to create
Mm.
your own platform.
Got it. That was a deep explanation, and actually, it makes so much of sense, right? Um, I just resonated with one of the topic that I read a couple of days back, and I could really resonate with what you actually said. Um, That's right. Now that we have spoken too much about platform engineering, and thanks to you for your detailed insights, as we are heading towards the end of the podcast, I think it is a good career option that people can, sort of choose this as a good, choose platform engineering as a good career option. But what are the type of skills that one should actually possess to become a platform engineer? Because
Mhm.
I see there are a lot of things according to your explanation. Because if someone is building the platform on the top of Kubernetes, then you should be having knowledge of that, then pipeline, CI/CD, etc., etc. So it's good to take it as a question altogether, so that you can just throw some light on it.
Exactly. So what you need to see is platform engineering is quite a young discipline. Um,
Yeah.
but of course, you can go into this direction and already create value.
Hmm.
When we look at a platform, then a platform has sort of a user interface for the whole
Yeah.
user experience. Usually you will build that or build that on top of something like, for example, Backstage. So you need to have some skills in creating beautiful user interfaces. So
Hmm.
also the whole user experience skill is also quite a good thing. So front end
Hmm.
technology. And then
Okay.
when we are going into the back end, and then
Hmm.
usually what you will have is you will have Docker containers in the back end, and of course potentially a Kubernetes cluster in the backend. So you need to have Kubernetes know-how, you need to have containerization know-how
Hmm.
in there, and also some know-how about security. Now, what I see is that platform engineering is such a big space, you will have different people working on different parts of the platform. So you can easily have people which are working on the user interface. You can easily have people which are working on the network topics. You can easily have people which are working on the security part, on the pipeline part, or then on the Kubernetes part. So usually you have a team, a diverse team of different people working on different topics when it comes to a platform. So the
Right.
platform engineer, when you
Hmm.
because your question is going into this direction, what is sort of the platform engineer? I mean,
Hmm.
when you want to have sort of the default profile of a platform engineer, then in
Hmm.
my opinion it is someone um, that has knowledge in Kubernetes, quite broad
Hmm.
knowledge in Kubernetes, has also some knowledge about user interfaces, and knows how software development works. So has knows the customer, because the customer is software engineering teams, and also needs to have some knowledge about pipelines and about how to automate things.
That is right. That's right. And this This shows that platform engineers would definitely have a very crucial role, because they would have to have knowledge in these different departments altogether, the different technical stacks. That is true. All right, we have reached towards the end of the episode, and it was so insightful, educative, and informative. We literally started right from scratch, and thanks to you for such in-depth insights on this topic. Thank you so much, Romano, once again. And do you want to say any signing off note?
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Thanks for organizing that, and thanks for all of these amazing questions that you brought up. It was really nice to talk with you and share the knowledge with you. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Likewise, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you on the podcast. And I myself got to learn so much from you, from such an experienced professional like you. So thank you so much once again.
Thank you.